Welcome back to
Down the Rabbit Hole.
I'm Bree Wanke.
And I'm Sam Rearder. Thanks
Live from our couch.
Live from Bree Wanke's couch.
My couch.
Well, now our couch.
It is our couch. It's Luna's couch.
This is Luna Moon, for those of you who don't know her. And for some reason, she felt the need to be a part of our recording today.
Yeah, you can see her if you're watching the video, but if not, she is Sam's best friend.
Baby soulmate
Her fur baby.
girl. And she's a little nervous, I think, but it's weird because she just invited herself into this. I'm not forcing her to do it, so don't come for me. I'm not.
Yeah, this is of her own free will.
Yes, Luna has her own time and choices.
Yeah, so Sam's in a big transition. We both are.
Yeah.
Massive transition energy all around us right now. And she's living with me for the month. Her and Luke and their 3 fur babies.
So it's a little tight.
It's a little tight in my little 2-bedroom here on Folly Beach.
Yeah, we needed basically with the way that our leases ended and for the next one to start, we're actually relocating to Boston. We've been here for 9 years, which is crazy to think about. But the way that our new lease is starting, we had a full month in between. And we were like, what are we going to do? We're going to have to find a short-term rental. Maybe I'll have to move up there early and find, a fully furnished apartment. It's hard with the pets because we have 3 of them.
Obviously, you just come land in my second bedroom.
Yeah. Bree was like, what are you thinking?
That's what we do.
You just come here. You just move in. This is not our first time living together.
No, it's not our first rodeo by any means.
It's not our first.
Do you remember when you used to paint in this living room, actually?
Yes.
When we were preparing for our London show.
Yes.
Like 2022?
Yeah, I don't even know what year that was.
And you were painting there in the living room, and I was out back in the garage and just made it work any way we had to.
Yeah, it just always works out. But it's been really, I guess, not really stressful. I mean, the moving part was stressful. Like living
so stressful.
Living out of boxes and living out of bags and like not having space and feeling like super crammed, not knowing where any of my stuff is like a Virgo's worst nightmare. So that's been a little hard on me. But obviously less hard because I'm here with you. There's just been so much like silliness and joy every day. Like I feel like we're living almost in a little bit of a la la land.
Yeah, it's such a contrast of things happening at once because we're both like these like very like swirling energies of a lot happening and a lot we're trying to wrangle in our own personal lives and careers and situations, but yet we're like, bumping up against each other as we're living in this tiny space and like also just like finding it hilarious because it is just so much some days.
Yeah.
But like, so we just end up being really silly, and that's the medicine. It's like the I don't know, the lubricant that kind of makes it all easier.
So
somehow.
much lubricant in our relationship.
Oh, Jesus. Okay.
Yep. Yep. Just like everyone's always dreamed about.
It's the silliness that's the medicine, though. It always carries us through.
Yeah. And it's also been, I think, really healthy in terms of navigating the anxieties of the transition and the uncertain because we both have a really strong understanding that this is a very limited time. It's like very fleeting. So instead of spending it feeling anxious about like, what's coming next? Or like, I'm not getting a lot of work done right now because it's this weird transition phase and all these people are in my space. And instead of like living in that weird area, we're also recognizing like there might be a time where this is the last time
we're going to wish for this.
Yeah.
Like future us is going to wish. Hey, do you remember that? That
do
was
you
chaotic and
we...
insane, but also awesome.
Yeah.
But also awesome. Like there's very silly moments where like I get into kind of control mode because like when you live by yourself for a long period of time, there's a way that you grind the coffee beans and fill the coffee maker the night before because like you want to have a good day the next day. So you just press the button, like set it up for success, know?
Yep.
And so like I forgot that I did it. And
you had to, the prequel is like, I tried to do it. I was like, I know she loves her coffee, set up the night before. we're going to have this thing where like it's done and it's ready. And like I was trying to step in and be like, I'm going to do this thing for Brie.
Yeah,
but
you,
I fucked it up.
You be loving the hazelnut. The hazelnut.
No, no. Before that.
Flavored coffee. Yeah. But so I don't trust you because I think you're going to put hazelnut coffee in it.
Oh.
This is a piece you're not aware of, maybe.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, no, this was I didn't have hazelnut coffee at the time. So
we're making this so confusing.
Yeah.
Basically.
At the time, you only had your coffee in the cabinet.
Yes.
And I was like, I'm going to do this nice thing for Brie. I'm going to grind the coffee. I'm going to set it up. It's going to be all ready for us the next morning. And I did it, but I did it wrong because, again, living by yourself, there's all these quirks that you don't have to explain to another person, but they're not the correct filters. And while they work, I didn't put it in like
perfect way to load this thing.
Perfect way to load it.
Pain in the ass, but I've got it dialed in.
Yes,
right?
Of course, because it's your life. And I didn't know that. And so the coffee overflowed and erupted everywhere. And we had no coffee, and it was a very sad day.
I don't know how you made that happen.
Because it's not the right filter, so it overflows the coffee.
Yeah. So last night, I'm like throwing out the old grounds from that morning to refill them again, and like they're really not ground well. They're still pretty coarse. Like there's whole ass beans on top of the wet old coffee, and I'm like, hey Sam, you really got to grind it coarsely to make this work, and like just for next time, a tip. Can you do this right the next time? And she's confused because she's like, I didn't do that one. And then I'm remembering that it was me who did it. So I'm literally like, hey, can you do better? But I literally did that. So I didn't grind them coarse enough. And for some reason, I found that hilarious that I was just like so authentically.
You weren't mean about it, though. You were like, hey, Rooter, like so nonchalant. Like,
I know.
Hey, Rooter,
cool.
Can you, to really make sure it's good quality coffee, I'm going to need you to you got to grind the beans a little bit longer. And I'm just sitting here like, do I tell her that I didn't actually do the coffee? Like, it was you.
Like, yeah, well, I didn't do that one. So I'm realizing, oh, Brie, you're the one not grinding them well enough. It's me. I'm the problem. It's me.
I'm the problem. It's me. Yeah, so we're having
just
all these
dumb
little
shit,
funny moments of it's like utter loss of control.
Maybe that's not quite as funny as it felt, but
no,
I laughed
it is.
so hard last night.
It's hilarious.
At myself for like bitching at you for doing it wrong.
This is not up to my quality, and I'm going to need you to do better. And I'm like, okay. I'll do better.
It was me.
I will do better, Mikey. This is so funny. But the coffee's perfect this morning. I think you did a great job.
Good.
I'm going to rate it a 10.
We're on some decaf right now because anxiety.
Anxiety. And you make your coffee very strong.
It's delicious.
It is.
It's goddamn
It just makes my heart pound out of my chest.
Mine too. I'm just used to it.
That was the one thing when I moved in. I was like, oh my God. Are you feeling ill every day? Because I'm feeling ill from how strong this coffee is.
I gotta remember to eat.
Yeah, that's fair. So we're in this weird transition phase. We are also having a joyous time and like doing our own work in the space. And we also still have the studio space. So we're back and forth there every day. But we're also like running, like last night we ran out to the beach at 8:00 and jumped in the water and like swam in the waves. And I know that later on in life, this is going to be a time where we look back on and say like, oh my God, remember when we lived on Folly Beach together with like all of the animals and just had a silly time and we had no idea what we were doing or what was going to happen next. But that was kind of like the beauty of it. And
yeah, there's so much unknown kind of gaping ahead for both of us. And it's just, I'm so grateful that I've got you guys in my life. And even though we're in this weird position, like it's also great. And I don't know, I think that speaks a lot to the cost of not the cost, just what it takes to maintain like strong friendship in your life and like, the inconvenience of that.
Yes.
At times.
Yes.
Like the inconvenience of somebody all up in your space, even though we're like half loving it, like,
yeah.
Like what that means and the things we do in order to like, it's just such an unspoken knowing that like you've got me and like I'm gonna have you. It's like family shit.
Yes.
It's the chosen family.
Yes.
Right?
I think, there's so many, we're raised to think like, oh, family, you do anything for family. And I feel like that's so ingrained in us and in our bodies. And then when it comes to people that we actually choose, I think there's often this chronic lonely feeling of like, I'm out here doing everything all on my own. And it's this undertone in our society right now. Everyone is feeling alone and isolated and like they have no one to catch them, and we're isolated in our homes sitting with our phones and just scrolling and like feeling disconnected from everything around us. But the other missing piece of that is like it takes a lot of work to formulate that connection, and it's not always easy. I feel like that's a theme that's coming up in our life a lot recently.
Yes.
Um, it takes a lot of commitment to be in community with someone and to say, like, I'm going to show up for you, not just when I'm available, but when it's inconvenient.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, I mean, airport runs, for example,
Yeah,
you know?
we were talking about this last night. We literally have created an unspoken rule.
Mm.
We didn't sit down one day and say, this is what's going to happen. It's an unspoken rule that no matter, because we both travel so much for work and all of these things. And for a very long time before Luke was in the picture, it was just us here. It was just us.
Yeah.
And this unspoken rule of like, no matter what time it is, no matter what day it is, I'll be there to pick you up
You
at the
just send me
airport.
the information as soon as you
And I'm
have it.
there.
Like that's what we do. And yeah, like any kind of moves, like I'm there to grab the armfuls of clothes if you let me do it my way.
Yes.
I know you like to do more organized. I
It's
just grab the
okay.
shit.
Yep.
I just grab it like one hug and I'm like, I'll
I'll
just
just
sit
do
this
it.
way till it goes
I'll
into the
just
next
I'll just do it.
closet and I'll just lift it into the closet in the same exact way, lay in the car, grab it the same way. It's just easy, you know.
Yeah.
You don't need to pack anything.
Yep. Yeah, there's showing up in times that are very like so for this move, we had to pack. It was very stressful. We had to pack our entire apartment into a pod that was going to be shipped up to Boston, and then we had to have the studio stuff also come from the studio. So it was all these moving parts, things we were going to keep with us. You were on an amazing trip in Croatia for almost a full month, and you came back like 3 days before our move.
Yeah, I knew what I was walking into.
Yeah, and like instead of coming back and being like, "Hey, I've got to hit the ground running with work. Like I've got so much on my plate. I've got to get back into my life." You were like, "Yeah, no, this is what we have to do."
Into the tornado we go.
Yes.
Together.
There's always a we element
Yeah.
with the people. I feel like showing up for people that you love, I feel like there's less of a separation there.
Yeah,
And
there's no explaining,
but it's
you
like
know?
less of like a you have this happening and it's like we have this happening.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this happening to us because, yeah,
Because we're in it together and like I'm going to help you solve the problem and I'm going to be there, and like you freaking meal prepped for Luke and I on our 2 moving days. Like you showed up with just takeout container. I wouldn't have eaten for 2 days because
I
it was
know.
so
I was
stressful.
like, what are they gonna absolutely be missing here? They're not gonna
Food.
eat. That's what we do when we're stressed is we forget about food altogether and wonder why we feel horrible.
Horrible.
Why our brains stop
Yeah.
working.
Yeah.
Food is important in those moments, meal prepping ahead of time for you
But
guys.
you could have said, "I'm so sorry. I just got back from a trip. I've got to unpack. I've got to get my life going." But instead, you stopped your life, which was very inconvenient at the time. That was not fun for you. It was 112 degrees. We were in the biggest heat
It
wave
was
of the
good training.
year.
It's fine.
Yeah. You're like, "I'll train for a marathon. I'll just go up and down these stairs a bunch of times with all your shit in my hands."
Yeah, I was in it for that. I was in it for me.
For training.
Anyway.
It was the underlying. I knew it this whole time. But yeah, I think the cost of real connection is that it's not always fun. It's not always fun. It's not always all fun and games. It's not always like I'll show up when I feel like showing up, or I need you to tell me how I'll show up for you. It's like this knowing of like how I can show up for people when I think they need it and do it that way.
Yeah, and I'm trying to think of like what stands out in my mind for ways that you have like made me feel so seen and made me feel so supported in moments I didn't even really realize I needed it, because asking for help is an extremely difficult task for me. Anyone who knows me well knows this. It's like such a discomfort of a place to be, and until you receive the help and then you realize how comfortable it is to get help. I'm learning. We're learning.
We're learning.
But I mean, I remember like one of my single Valentine's days or something, and I wasn't thinking much of it. I'm like, whatever, Hallmark stupid holiday, nothing matters. I'm above this bullshit going on with my night. And then like I look out the door and you had left a homemade little heart-shaped cake. Sam loves to bake. And if you get to be in Sam's life, you understand that she will bake you cakes and bake you things even when you don't want them. There's like so much cake in our fridge right now.
Yes.
Currently. But she loves to bake for people she loves. And that's such a love language I didn't even realize that I had.
Mm,
until I felt like you went out of your way. What I'm assuming is inconvenient, which you actually really do love to do for
I
people. Like
do.
you really like get off on that. You
I
love it.
do.
Um, but just like feeling this random, like frivolous sort of luxury thing that you're doing, spending your time and then like dropping it off and like making sure I have it because you want me to feel loved on this Valentine's Day, it just was like it kind of broke me in a special way.
Oh,
It was really
Wanky.
lovely. And moments like that, like,
Yeah. Knowing when your people need you to show up
yeah, like
and
before sometimes they even know they need it. Like, y'all didn't know you needed meal prep. You weren't
right.
thinking about that.
No. No, we were not thinking about that.
It's like being an extra set of brains for somebody who like is just so overwhelmed. All their brains are on something
Which it's hard
important.
work, I guess, is like the undertone of this. It's like more energy expenditure for
Yes.
people that for a lot of us, we don't have the extra energy, but it makes a difference because you're getting it back. Like with the right people, you'll be getting that safety back in return of like, I see you. I see this is a hard time. Let me show up and do this thing for you. Like, there's no better feeling of being seen than someone looking out for you before you even know what you need. Like,
I think that's the element of tribal community that, we hear people speak to and we
yeah,
know damn well that's what's missing from our society. That's how
yeah,
humans have coexisted since forever,
yeah.
in small bands of 50 before we, started existing in larger groups and had to structure society differently. Um, but that's the base is you take care of each other. It takes a village, right? And we like to throw that statement around, takes a village, but it really does. And I think everyone feels that way, feeling alone and feeling like this lack of, natural, instinctive, primal desire to have your people and not carry everything alone all the time. And
Right.
our world kind of dictates that we're supposed to be individuals, individualistic society, and that's everyone stays in their lane and like, you step on heads to get where you're going and like it's you and number one matters and that's
You
it.
against the world.
Yeah, and while, you know, we've all fallen victim to that mentality and gotten certain areas of life because of that. Certain things require it,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Creativity requires a
Of
solitude,
course.
things like that. But like as far as just like life and living and the bigger picture, like we need people. And that's a big reason why we create the retreats as well, is like to
Yes.
selfishly find our people around the
Yes.
world. And like I've gained so many amazing women because of these retreats
Yes.
that I still get to text and I still get to like brain dump with and like share ideas and like share life stories with. And it's just like the most valuable thing of all is finding your people. And it's hard to do, but it isn't. But
It
it is.
yeah, it's a
So it takes a vulnerability and a willingness to do the uncomfortable
it's a commitment.
things
It's a commitment,
sometimes.
just like every other form of relationship
Yeah.
in your life. As young women, we're told like this is how you commit to a partnership with a man, and it takes respect and commitment, and you see it through. And friendships require, in my opinion, more commitment because there's no sexual like tether there that's almost like an undertone that changes things, like
Yeah.
chemically in your brain where you're like gravitating towards this person and there's like this sexual desire attached to it. And that form of intimacy is so different in a friendship. Like when that physical intimacy is not there, sometimes it takes more work
Mm-hmm.
because
You
I don't,
can't just rely on primal instinct. You can't just
yes.
rely on what nature is pulling you to
Yeah.
procreate and do, I guess.
Yeah. Oh, Luna doesn't like
There's
that.
so much more yeah, other things have to be so strengthened, you know, within female friendship. Within both, but you just yeah.
Yeah, there's always going to be a cost, and I think right now is showing us that like you're allowing me to invade your space and take up this time in your life, and we're getting through like the anxieties of what's next for us together.
There have been some really interesting little pings from the universe, if that's what we call them. Um, that's kind of translating into like what spirituality that I'm developing as calling it the universe at this point. But there's undeniable things that happen sometimes, and it almost feels like absurd to say, but it's something I've made up. So always have a ring on this finger.
Mhm.
Always have a ring on my left hand. Like it's been painted into things. Like it's always been there since I can remember. And like there were other rings on this finger that had fallen off, and it's happened twice, now 3 times
Mm.
in life where massive transitions have taken place. I remember like 15 years ago, I remember just standing in a kitchen of like my ex-boyfriend's house. My hand was hanging by my side. It didn't even like I didn't do anything to make the ring break. It fell off my finger, hit the floor, it had broke.
Mm.
And that was before I left Connecticut and moved to New York City. That was a massive
Life
life change.
transition.
And then the second time I had another ring on that finger and I lost it right after I got engaged. And it's like, okay, maybe that made sense in my head. Trade out one ring for another. But that was a massive shift, obviously, and that relationship ended, and like a lot came because of that whole transition in my life at that time. I've had this ring on my finger. It looks kind of like almost like a Sparta ring or something. I don't even know. I just love it. It
It's a
thing's
nice big
huge.
gem.
Yeah, and I mean, there's imprints on this finger. I never took it off for anything. I didn't take it off in the shower. When I'm making protein balls and or meatballs, that's when I take it
That's
off because
important.
that's gross.
But
Gets stuck in the ring.
you hadn't.
Hadn't made meatballs on the day that
Mm-mm.
I lost it.
No meatballs.
A couple days ago, I'm sitting at the table with you, and I look down, and it's just gone.
Out of
It's
nowhere.
just gone.
Mhm.
It didn't fall, and I heard it and could find it. Like it didn't make any sense. I hadn't left the house that day. I looked through the garbage twice. We dug in the garbage disposal in the
Everywhere. We
sink,
looked everywhere.
everywhere, and maybe we'll still find it somewhere weird. But it's almost like in that moment that I looked down and saw it not there, I
New.
saw a nod. I felt a nod. Like
Yeah.
yes, like you know exactly what this is, and I like it was a panic. It was like
It's happening.
yeah, scary because I don't wanna lose this ring 'cause I genuinely love it, and it represents, you know, a life I've been living and, like, being tethered to what's been and where I've
Mhm.
been and, like, what I've had, and so the fact that it was gone is, like, all in one moment I felt at once, like the universe just saying, like, "Yeah, you're not gonna get any of this anymore, or it's about to change."
Yeah.
Like, you're about to let go of a lot. And I just knew it all in a moment and still looked for it anyway, but I knew it was gone. And I don't know where it went, what kind of vortex it slipped into, you guys.
So crazy.
It still makes me like kind of panic. And I'm like looking around the room still, like
Where's
as I'm
my
saying this,
ring?
like where did it go? And so it's like, yes, it was my language. It's something I came up with in my head, like this story around the rings on this particular finger and what happens when they go away. But like, it's too timely. I don't know what we do with those kind of coincidences. We feel a little insane
Right.
for believing in them, but like,
If you're a little
why not believe
nuts.
in the magic too?
And
You
it's
know?
your own spiritual language, like, to be able to have that and know it's yours, and then to be served that
So
makes
bizarre.
so much sense.
I'm still in awe.
Like, how can you turn away from that?
I don't know. It's like, what
You
more?
can't.
The universe is like, what more do you need
Yeah.
to know?
Like, come on.
Mm.
I know, I love all those little weird signs when you're uncertain of something and you're like, "Give me something," and it's
Yes.
just so but I don't know, like, on the opposite side of that, it's like we're conditioned to believe that in big moments, there's going to be this loud, dramatic, like, signal in our bodies or around us that's like, "Yes, this is the right thing," and sometimes I think it's a lot quieter than that, and it's a lot more like we talk about this inner quiet knowing of, like, it's not actually usually the voice that is screaming, the voice that is loud and wants the most attention. It's the quiet voice that's like, "Actually, I
Mhm.
think maybe this is the way." And being able to differentiate that
Yeah, and
is tricky.
I mean, as somebody who struggles so hard to get quiet and so hard to wrangle my monkey mind and, you know, sit still really at all. You know, meditation feels out of the question most days, which it shouldn't, but it kind of does. So like learning how to gauge that knowing inside anyway and like learning like what that feels like and paying attention to it
Mm,
where it's like it's not a spastic yes, like a
yeah.
panic
A
out of a yes,
chaotic.
like where it's the word is yes, but the feeling is like very panic.
Chaos.
Instead, it's like this quiet, subtle nod that's like, yeah, this is it. Like, turn this way, or like take this step this direction, or the no, which is like this, no, like
Fear.
I can't do that. No.
Fear.
Versus like a quiet, like, no, this is not for you. And like there really is a distinction if you like can think of it that way. Yeah, you hear the word, and you hear even the logic sometimes behind the word, but it's the feeling behind the word that has the wisdom. And like trying so hard to distill down and lean into what those no's and yeses are saying to me
Mm.
has been really helpful. And the more I'm doing it, the more I'm like getting familiar with those sensations. So it's like gets a little
Right.
easier. It's like you learn its language, you know?
Yeah, when you're not and I mean, part of it is overriding your body for so long, like overriding the sensations in your body and being like, well, this is what I have to do, so I'm just going to do it. And then you no longer have the vocabulary or the way to look up the vocabulary for the sensations because you've been overriding it for so long.
Mm-hmm.
And I think when I tried to leave here a few years ago, I tried to move and I ended up coming back. There was a very specific sensation in my body of like, this is just what I have to do. It's just what I have to do. And I knew deep down it was not the time. I was not ready. And I tried to force myself into it and it didn't work. I came right back. I knew. Like I remember packing and being like, my ass is going to be right back here in a month. And
I knew it.
I
My
called
second
it.
bedroom was ready for you.
We
It's
all
like,
knew it.
well, I'm not going to have this place to myself for long. Just waiting
Sam
for
will
Sam
be back.
to realize it.
It's crazy. But we like try to push ourselves to do it anyway because we feel like it's what we've committed to. It's what the world wants from us. It's what other people want from us. We've got to do it. And the difference in this time is there is such a quiet, steady, and it's not, I don't want to sit here and tell people like, when you're making a life decision, if you feel fear, that's the wrong decision because there is so much fear right now. There is so much fear. Like I'm literally moving everything, leaving everyone that I know. My business has to readjust. Both of our businesses. Luke is also a freelancer. There's just so much uncertainty. What if we hate it? What if it's miserable? What if we miss being on the beach, having the summers, having the less invasive, horrible winters, like all of these things. There's so much fear, so much fear. But underneath the fear is that very steady, quiet sensation that is saying, this is the time, and you know it. And I think once we stay past that time and we override the knowing, that's when the anxiety creeps in because then we're not listening to ourselves anymore. I also think when things are right and when things are scary and you're doing it anyway, little things start to fall into place and it almost feels like there's less tension against you. Like it feels less swimming upstream. Like, don't get me wrong, this is not an easy process whatsoever, but there were certain things, like I remember 6 or 7 months ago laying in my bed at night and just being like, I can't move to a new city because I cannot leave my studio. Like that was the one tether keeping me here of like, we have worked so hard to find a space. It has been at the top of my dream manifestation list of like, I need a space that is just ours to create artwork in, like validate this life path that I'm on. I got it, right? We got it. And that was my big thing of like, I cannot leave that studio because I will never get another studio again. Like, who do I think I am? I'm going to move to a giant city. Like Charleston is one thing, right? Like, but move to a city and expect to be able to find a studio that I can afford, that I can keep to myself. That was my one big thing. And I remember laying in bed and just saying like, if this is the right move for me, I need to know that I can find a studio above everything else. Like that was my thing. And I like talk about things just falling into place. We were looking everywhere at apartments. We were looking at studios. I was looking at all of these, new high-end studios and reaching out. And it was this constant being hit in the face with a closed door of like, there's a 4-year wait list for this place. Like, and talking to the artists in the building and then being like, yeah, you're never getting in here. Like people wait for years. There's no spaces. How is this going to work? And I just remember thinking like, I'm going to be back in a bedroom and I'm going to feel so invalidated and just have such a hard time with it all. And this crazy studio was just served on a platter to me because I had a weird ping sitting on my couch like, I should look on Craigslist.
Craigslist.
What? I haven't been
Craigslist
on
Boston.
Craigslist since 2013. I mean, that is not the place that you go. We use Facebook Marketplace for things. We
Yeah, that feels like
use
a serial killer website now
Yes!
somehow,
It's like the scary,
right?
spooky website that you
That's how
don't
you
go
found
to.
your studio now, though, dude.
And I
That's how you
opened
found it.
it, and it was just the first thing on there, like painter wanted, painter only. And it was a very simple,
Specific.
I only want a painter in this space. Call this person at this number. And I ended up through talking to her and building a relationship. Like I got this space in a completely one of the last artist buildings in Boston that is unmarked. I would have never found it otherwise. It's not a place that you can like go knock on a door and ask, can I rent a studio here? And it was so satisfying in releasing some of that fear because that was my biggest holdup in leaving Charleston. And then the universe was like, okay, now what? Now, oh, are you going to not go
You can have it
now?
here too.
Because you can also have it here.
There aren't only studios in Charleston, West
Right?
Ashley.
And it was like alleviating that fear impulse of like, I can't do this because it's impossible to replicate what I have here. That was the narrative I had in my
Right.
head. And while I'm not there yet and I don't know how things are going to go, I mean, I signed my studio lease before we had a place to live, before we even knew an area we were going to live in. I was like, this is it. Like, I full body know this is the right choice for me. And that it was given to me so that I can make this choice without so much fear and anxiety of like, I'm about to fuck up my whole life. And what a crazy way for the puzzle pieces to just like fall together. Like, but you have to be willing to like listen to it, I think.
Yeah. And all this time for the past year, really, I've known you guys were headed out, at this time frame. And it's like, okay, so what are you doing, Bree? Because you're a chosen family. And, while there is a community here, you know, yeah, your family and we've got our studio together and so much work and all this, everything really. So trying to decide, okay, so what are you doing? Are you going up north? And I just feel like it's really there's no specific pull to a single place. Well, there might be now, but but it's really been like there's just so much more. There's just so much more in the way of geography, like places to run, literally, like more mountains to see, more new cultures to experience. And like this all sounds flowery and beautiful. I don't know. Maybe that is what's pulling this is, and that's what needs to direct me is like the inspiration of it. And like, age is a factor. Like, I even though it shouldn't be, it is. And I'm thinking like, you know, should I make a move at this age? Like, I should have these things by this age, and I don't. Like, I don't have the partner, I don't have the family, I don't have a purchased home, and like, yes, I've got this career that I've painstakingly built, but also this like, insane curiosity that I thought would subside by now, but it's just part of me, I guess. And so it's starting to like make me really wonder like what else really could I be doing in the way of places to live and areas to go and experience and run and the new people to meet and all of that. And so it's it's like sometimes I think of transition and change, very visual person obviously, and I think of it as like almost like this vast expansive void, and it's a little chaotic. It's almost like Paradise Lost. John Milton. I refer to this a lot when I'm painting. And like there's this character called Chaos. And it's like, you got like table legs flying around the joint. It's just like, you got past selves flying around and you're kind of in it. It's not comfortable to be there, and it's wild and it's untethered. And that's how transition feels. That's how change feels, especially when you don't have a clear understanding of exactly what you're doing and where you're going, maybe just a vague idea. And it's like you have to look for an exit. You have to like find an exit out of this, even though, you're grappling with all your past selves and all of these things, kind of these ideas, and like it's just you're spread really thin and there's no tether. And so you're looking for the exit. And it's like also really exciting because through that exit or that doorway is like infinite potential.
Anything in the world.
An unknown is terrifying. It's also fucking exciting.
Yes.
Right. And like you can hold both at once be absolutely terrified, but also know that like there's stuff you can't even see yet. There's
Mhm.
doors outside that doorway you can't even see. I also think of more visuals. Nightmare Before Christmas. Anybody
Yes.
remember?
Yes.
The opening intro scene, you're in the forest
Mhm.
and there's all the trees of all the holidays.
Yep.
There's the pumpkin, there's the turkey, there's
Yep.
like all the holidays.
Yep.
And I loved that Tim Burton scene at the beginning, and like you're just there and you get to decide what door, and
You
there's
walk into.
entire worlds behind each of these doors, and you only really get to choose one at a time, which is maybe the the biggest heartbreak of all. Is like you can't have it all, but you have to
Yes.
make a choice. And I'm getting excited thinking about it, even though it's terrifying. It's like,
Right.
what other doors, what other experiences lay behind these doors? And you do not know, and you cannot know until you make that first
Step.
transition through the door.
It's
You
like the
know?
book Midnight Library. Have you read that book?
Mm-mm.
Highly recommend. That is like it's very good.
Ooh,
It's a very good read.
add
And
that
it
to
puts,
Audible.
yeah, in a transition phase, I feel like reading Midnight Library is it really puts things into perspective of
Yeah.
like, there's so many opportunities for this life and I could go any which way. And all of them are going to be equally brutal and beautiful and like magnificent in the end. It's good.
That's awesome.
Um,
Yeah, but it's like holding
it's
that.
the duality of it.
Yeah.
But there's like a scale, right? Where like I'm seeing it as like a scale of it, the duality, like having it even and acknowledging both sides of like, this is utterly terrifying, but also on the opposite end, it's like, this is so exciting and I can't wait to see what's on the other side. You could tip either way and kind of like fall into delusion.
Each day looks a little different.
Yes.
So on what side?
And some days our scale is on the fear side, dude.
Like you picking me up off the fucking floor in the kitchen the other day. I have a circle rug in the kitchen, and just like Frankie Wanky the cat, I'm like, that
Curling
looks like a
up.
good place to sit, right
Yep.
in the middle of that circle rug. And
Like
so
a little
I sit
cat.
there, and Sam's at the kitchen table dealing with her own, tornado of what she's dealing with, and I'm in my own tornado, and we're about 8 feet apart.
Yep.
And I'm just like,
room.
Sam, do you have a minute to hear me just go? And she was like, I guess so. And I'm just like so overwhelmed, so many tasks. I'm making to-do lists, but there's too many, and I'm making them in different places. I got one on my phone. I got one in the notebook in my car. I've got one in the notebook in the studio, on a giant piece of paper in the studio. The one next to my bed, like I'm just spread thin, and I'm everywhere, and I'm not organizing myself very well, and I need to. ADHD.
Yeah.
That's our biggest, right?
Yeah.
It's either medication or the structure.
Yep.
Need the structure, and I'm just venting and going and don't seem to have a handle on any of it. And you, in that moment, you can like put your stuff down to see me where I'm at and be like, okay, we're going to talk through this. And you talk me off a ledge and like help me just kind of come back a little bit. And I don't know where I'm going with that, but that was a real moment.
Yeah,
and,
because
like, those are some of the days.
Yes, it's
literally.
the realness of, but then there's other days where we wake up and we're like, oh my God, like
we're seeing sunrise.
Right. But also the reframe of, remember how uncertain we were when we moved here and we didn't even know each other yet. And there was all this uncertainty. Like I remember when I moved here, I was like, I don't know a single person. I'm walking away from my teaching career. What am I going to do with my life? There was so much uncertainty and anxiety.
Teaching career.
And look at this like life that we've built on the other side of that. So it's like very exciting because there's proof to our brains that if you look back and you're like, every single time I was uncertain, every time fear gripped me and said, no, you should just stay where you are, when you push through to prove to your brain, like on the other side of that door is something so beautiful, you can't even comprehend what's coming yet.
Yes.
And to lean into that side rather than, and I think it's great.
The trust of that, the trust muscle.
Yeah, the trust
you always
muscle.
refer to.
Back to the not falling off the other side of like, this is too much for my system, but also taking care of your system and that's what we did the next day, yesterday, instead of like panicking and pushing ourselves and going harder and like doing a hard run and doing a hard yoga class. We were like, no, we're going to wake up and go see the sunrise because that's what our system needs right now. So instead of like pushing yourself to the breaking point of like, you better wrangle this and figure it out. It's like, no, actually, we need to do a little less.
It's like release the grip a little bit.
Yes.
Don't tighten it more. That's not doing anything.
It's not doing anything. It's tipping the seesaw down to the wrong side.
Or just like crushing your innards. Like,
yeah.
That's how it feels sometimes.
Yeah.
I'm in the chaos bubble and then my innards are being crushed. So many visuals for everybody.
Not your innards.
So the show will be live every 2 weeks. We'll have a new episode drop. Please like and subscribe and share this episode with somebody if it resonated with you.
Yeah.
Maybe it can help them if they're in a transitionary period in their life.
And we'll also keep you guys updated on like what this process is like for us, because right now we're in the kind of like the messy unknown phase of it, and it's about to change a lot. But we're going to continue the podcast.
Yeah.
We're going to keep it's our tether to see each other. Yeah.
It's great when we can do it in person.
Catch up and be people. So that's exciting. But thanks for joining us down the rabbit hole.
That's right.
Forever.